AITA for pointing out a period stain to my coworker? So first of all, I'm a guy and my coworker is girl. And she's about a decade older than me and we don't know each other very well. Tonight about an hour before closing we were sweeping up together and I noticed that she had a blood stain on her pants from her period. So I pulled her aside and I whispered, "I just wanted to let you know I think you may have got your period. I have a jacket if you need it." And she kind of pursed her lips at me and said, "Okay," and then stormed away. Now I just got home and I'm wiped and my boss texted me that I need to call him tomorrow to talk about the situation, and that I said something very inappropriate to my coworker. I texted back saying I was genuinely trying to help her out if she didn't know about the stain, but he said she interpreted it differently and told a different story, but that we'd talk about it tomorrow because he wanted to go to sleep. Now I'm freaking out. I wasn't trying to shame her or anything about it, and I hope it didn't come off like that. AITA. If it went down the way you have just told us. NTA. Maybe next time instead of saying you think she may be on her period, just say, "You have a stain on your pants. I think you sat on something." Less embarrassing for her. NTA if that is exactly how it went. I don't understand what she's upset about. I can understand being a bit embarrassed for anyone to point out something like that. But I would be embarrassed and grateful. Please update after you talk to your manager. NTA. Honestly, unless you're leaving something out, you did a very good thing. She's probably embarrassed. That or taking this really wrong. No matter how badly this situation goes, though, don't let this event stop you doing the same with other women in the future. You did the right thing. Oh goodness. So sad that we still live in a world where the mention of period is taboo and can cause offense and shame. NTA op. You were clearly looking out for her and your intentions were admirable. I'd have been grateful to you for sparing me any more embarrassment. Just tell the story as it happened. NTA. But I can think of two things. 1. Did you make it clear you were talking about a stain on her pants? Is it possible she thought you were referencing her behavior or emotional state and being rude about it? 2. Was the stain in a place where she might have felt you'd have to be looking at her inappropriately to actually see it? Neither of those things would change my answer. Just spitballing what could have caused such a bad reaction. Supervisors need to get involved. InTA if that's all there was to the interaction. It seems like you were discreet and polite. From my perspective, you're NTA and I'd be happy that someone pulled me aside and told me that I'd got my period. But then again, I'm not ashamed of my periods or period accidents. But I know that some women would be mortified if this happened to them, and to have it pointed out by a man would be even worse. As some other commenters have said, if you find yourself in this situation again, maybe just mention that they have a stain on their pants and then they can figure out the rest for themselves. Good luck with your manager tomorrow. I'm sure it's not going to be as bad as you think it's going to be. Just say that you've reflected on the situation. Realize you could have handled it better and it won't happen again, etc. etc. NTA. You didn't make a big deal of it. Pulled her to the side and told her quietly so nobody else could hear. TBH, she is the asshole. NTA. You were trying to be helpful, but now you're in a bloody mess. NTA. It's an awkward situation. But most people would appreciate being told. It's better to be embarrassed by one person than to run errands after work and then realize it was there the entire time. Possibly it wasn't from her period? Could have phrased it differently with hindsight, but really NTA and good on you for being kind. She probably thought you were checking out her $1s and that's why you noticed. You sound like a nice dude, so NTA. NTA. If anything, you'd be more of an asshole to see that and not mention anything. If I had an embarrassing stain on my clothes, I'd want someone to tell me. NTA. I think what happened was tunnel vision, so to speak. After the word, period, and stain, she probably just heard the rest as garble. I know I would just be so horrified. It was at a public event, and that probably went back to a bad memory. People often don't remember what you said. People don't remember what you did. But they do remember how you made them feel. More than likely this was a case of displacement of feelings. And she just remembers feeling embarrassed, and self-conscious equals wrong interpretation of events. She may not even be 100% aware of it, as a lot of people do it. People remind them of a feeling, even if that feeling is inaccurate. You didn't do anything wrong. NTA. You were kind to offer your jacket. Others might feel squeamish at the idea of possibly getting period blood on it. But your concern was for your coworker. I may have been embarrassed in her shoes, but I'd also be incredibly grateful. NTA. Unfortunately, it sounds like colleague got embarrassed and might have conveyed a different interpretation of what happened. I would apologize to the colleague. Get perhaps her take if you can ask directly. And tell your story to the boss as you told it here. In the future, while I think what you did is helpful and reasonable, it might be best to say something like, there may be something on the back of your skirt, or, you may have sat in something, and leave it vague like that. It will genuinely help people unaware of the stain. But also be pretty bulletproof from an employer's perspective, since it could be presumptive to claim it was period blood. No reasonable person is going to punish you for politely and discreetly mentioning there may be a visible stain. I had a very similar experience. One time I started my period and my male coworker pulled me aside and said, "Hey, I don't want this to sound awkward or weird, but I think you may have started your period. There's a red spot on your pants. Do you need tampons or pads?" This man, bless his heart, bought me a box of tampons. And I was forever grateful to him for being honest and kind enough to care. In my vote, NTA. In any way, shape, or form. NTA. You had good intentions. You even offered to help her out. There's a good chance she knew it was there, and just hoped nobody noticed. But still, how could you have known? NTA. I would be thankful if someone told me that had happened instead of getting home and realizing after so many people had seen it. Also would have been hurt that no one bothered to tell me. She might just be embarrassed it happened at all and that you pointed it out. Said it sounds like she's framing it as though you must have been checking out her ass or being weird to have noticed it, which is not the case. There's a clear difference between a coworker blatantly staring at tits when you talk to them versus one pointing out there's a stain on your shirt by your breast. I am sorry you are in this situation, when all you did was a nice thing for her. Write down everything that happened now and how you feel, so tomorrow in the meeting if you're anxious it's easier to talk about. But I hope it's not a big thing, and remember you did nothing wrong. NTA. I'm a woman, and if I had a period stain I would want someone to let me know, man or woman.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.